All right, today I'm pulling back the curtain on my content strategy for 2025, both for YouTube and for socials, and why I'm taking this strategy and how I think maybe it could help you as well if you're trying to do this. So I'm Jordan Shelton. I'm the founder of cavesocial.com, an agency. We've been around for 13 years, and this is Mind Your Marketing, our show. And I'm going to pull back the curtain a little bit and show you my content plan for this year. Hopefully it helps inspire you with your content plan, but let's get into the video. Okay, so I think this is important, and just to kind of rewind the clock and let you know where things have been to date. So I've had this YouTube channel for years, and it has taken many forms. It was a show with me and my previous business partner, and we had a show where we broke down marketing tips, in like the mid 2015-ish time. Then it was a interview show, and then we slowed down with a lot of the interviews, and it turned into advice and short clips, in that we went from self-development to social media focus to SMMA, and it was kind of all over the place. And not only was it all over the place, but it was sporadic, right? I would do 3 or 4 videos, feel gung-ho, and we'd get client work, and then I'd get pulled back into the business, and I'd be like, dang, I haven't produced a video, I haven't put an episode of the podcast out, in 1, 2, 3 months sometimes. And our listenership, our viewership showed that. People left the show. They stopped checking for updates. So ultimately, I look at it and I'm like, that was a massive, 1, disservice to myself and the content strategy, 2, to the audience, anyone who was following along. So I really wanted to rectify that and not use, my business and clients as an excuse to not produce content. So this has been the big aha moment, so to speak, and taking this idea, at least for myself, to say, okay, I'm going to carry forward and really have my behavior be professional when it comes to this channel. And that means acting with professionalism. That means recording videos ahead of time. That means thinking through who I'm speaking to. It means creating content with a plan, not just when I have bursts of motivation or some free time. And that's where we want to go. It's time to do the work. So let's get into this strategy. Part 1 of the strategy. I want to be known well, not well known. Now, this might seem counterintuitive, but I don't want to just create videos that are trending or have the highest potential for reach. I'm not trying to become a YouTuber in a sense where YouTube pays the bills. That's not what I want to do. It's not the plan for this channel. What I want to do is be known well. So I do want the people who stumble across this channel, they can actually get to know me, feel like, hey, okay, that's Jordan. I've heard him talk about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things in depth, and maybe you find it interesting, maybe you don't, but at least you know where I stand on stuff. You know what I think in regards to marketing, building the agency, building a presence on social media, because I see this philosophy as a tool. Honestly, people can call it whatever they want, but for me, it's a tool to get really focused in who do I serve, who does this channel serve, and who do I want to connect with, and how can it also grow my business, right? My business is an agency. We help businesses run their social media, do their video production, grow on those channels, create content that really speaks to their core audience. So I want to create content that speaks to my core audience, go through that same exercise. So that means, not being recognizable per se, but having my message cut through to those CMOs, those VPs of marketing, my ideal customer, finding what are those top 25 questions that ideal customer has, and how can I answer those? How can I put my opinion or my philosophy out there about content and see if that acts as a magnet or a repellent, right? I definitely want to be polarizing in the way of, I want to attract the quote unquote right people, and I want to push away the wrong people for this channel and for the business. So that is where I want to take this. And here's the interesting part. Not a lot of people in the agency space are creating video, and video is only going to become more and more important. So I see this as a pivotal part to the strategy in any business, which probably should have started in 2024, but if you haven't, that's okay. But in 2025, finding a formula for video and finding something you can execute on for the whole year. So for me, what that is, my exact framework, so to speak, is I'm going to be releasing 1 video a week on Wednesdays. Every Wednesday, a video will come out. From that video, I will have roughly 5 clips or little snippets that will be repurposed for TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels. The YouTube video will also lead the content for the newsletter. So we have a newsletter, Mind Your Marketing, that goes out. So this one idea that'll be in the video will then turn into a bunch of clips, a newsletter, and carry really the social content for that week until the new video comes up, in which we'll be able to put in, those new clips and all the other things to really help promote that week's episode, that week's video, and to just give new content, new ideas. The content itself, and this is important, will be really narrow in focus. I want to serve marketing leaders and aspiring marketing leaders who are passionate about social media, right? That is where I want to go. Those are the people I want to connect with. That's what I want to talk about. So that's where we're going to go. I kind of toyed around before with like social media marketing agency related content. And I found that was getting me in front of people, young, hungry entrepreneurs, but they were never going to be customers of mine unless I, went full blown course bro and guru. And that's not really what I want to do. I want to work with brands. So I said, okay, how can we do this and create content that speaks to our core audience? Okay. So that's the outline, so to speak. We're going to have one video a week, a bunch of clips, newsletter, etc. So how will that be made? And what does that look like? Well, where I've run into issues in the past is I get busy. I step away from the channel. I step away from creating content. I have a little lull or space between projects. I jump back in. I create a bunch of video. Okay. Not a sustainable plan, right? I'm expecting kids with my wife here soon. And by the time this publishes, they should be out in the world. So that adds another wrinkle into I don't have the time that I had maybe when I was 25. So I really got to take advantage of the time I do have. How am I going to do that? I'm thinking about it in 12 video blocks. So I want to create 12 videos over the course of one production week. So in that week, I look to create 2-ish videos per day. Some days will be 1, some days maybe 3, but I want to hit 12 total to carry me through the next 12 weeks of content. Then those all go into post. They all go into editing and they are queued up to go out on the channel. Then when I'm about 6 weeks into that, I will start another production run. So if I am every 6 weeks doing a week-ish of production, or at least putting time for that production, that in theory should keep me 6 weeks ahead and should keep my channel ahead and flowing. But it also isn't putting this pressure on me like I need to create 35 videos, in 1 month, and some of that content's not relevant by the time it comes out. So I want to make sure I'm batching, but not too much. So 12 is the appropriate amount, or the amount I'm going with. We'll see how that plays out. I might update you, in the second batch and be like 12 wasn't enough, 12 was too many, whatever. But that's the plan right now. So I have 3 months ready to go. Why I want to do this in a week too is if I can set aside a week to produce 12 YouTube videos, that 1 week can carry my content over the 12 weeks, which frees up so much time for me to actually operate my business, which is what I really want to do. So I want to make sure my content doesn't suffer, but I'm able to really spend time getting my hands dirty with our clients and getting deep into the business. And this is going to help my team too. I think up until this point, I've been a bottleneck. I have been the person who's like, I need to create the thumbnails or have last say. I need to make sure the headlines are perfect or to my liking. And I've gone through and spent a lot of time holding up production from that standpoint. So this is the year where I say, okay, I'm going to let my team run with everything. And I'm going to do what I think I do best in this process, which is sit down, record, teach, and try to share some of my experience from working on client accounts. That's what I want to focus on. That's what I want to do. And then I'm going to make sure my team, they have everything they need to edit the videos appropriately and to post them, to make the thumbnails, to put them on TikTok, etc. So I can really then go back to learning out in the field, learning on client accounts, and come back and report on, hey, here's what we learned, here's what we saw, here's what's working, here's what's not working, and bring that information to you. So how does this pertain to you, or what can you take from it? I mean, ultimately, that's up to you. Now, I think it's a smart idea to really narrow your messaging, to figure out who is that one ideal customer, what are the problems that they have, and how can you solve them. I think that is a viable strategy for content, and it's one that I'm taking. I think batch creating is a must, especially for small teams. Even big teams. I mean, like, unless content itself is your business and you are a full-time creator, YouTuber, media company, then batch creating has got to be the answer. And that's going to be the best way to get the most, juice for the squeeze, so to speak. So if you like that and you were like, okay, cool, yeah, that makes sense to me. Here's what I did, and you can just copy this. I literally said, okay, who is the ideal person I'm trying to connect with, right? This marketing professional. Cool. What are the 12 issues that they have? Okay, I wrote those out. Then I said, all right, which ones can I create content on? Wrote that out. Then I put together a loose script for each video. And then it was time to hit record. It was time to do this and to see, okay, what comes out on the other end. I'm not sure at this very moment, but we will see. And remember, if you're like me, it's not about becoming the biggest content creator in the world. It's about putting the best foot forward toward connection with the audience and with with somebody who might be a potential buyer for you one day. So that's where I want to take my content. If you're in the marketing space and that's where you want to take your content, that would be my suggestion to you. Okay, that's it for this video. I'm Jordan Shelton. I hope you like this. If you do, please hit the like, share, subscribe, all that fun YouTube stuff. This has been an episode of Mind Your Marketing, and I'll catch you next time.